This morning's top story, the final farewell to Pope Francis. Funeral services just concluded this morning in Vatican City, with Francis's casket arriving at his burial place, the Basilica of St. Mary Major. Vatican officials say about 200,000 people flocked to St. Peter's Square to say goodbye to the Pope, who died Easter Monday at the age of 88. John Dickerson, co-anchor of the CBS Evening News, is overlooking St. Peter's Square. He leads our coverage this morning. And good morning to you, John.
Good morning, Michelle. It is the full cross-section of society here today. President Donald Trump headlines a list of 50 heads of state, along with members of royal families and other dignitaries. They are all here to celebrate the life of Pope Francis, along with the poor of Rome, prisoners, pilgrims, and refugees. Less than 1 week ago, Pope Francis made his final public appearance here, delivering the blessing on Easter Sunday. This morning, he was remembered as a Pope of the people, who was best known for reaching out to the marginalized. Chris Livesay was in the crowd as they paid their respects to the man who led the Catholic Church for the past 12 years. And good morning, Chris.
Good morning, John. The Vatican says more than 250,000 people were in St. Peter's Square, where we were. We spoke to people from Ukraine, from Mexico, from the U.S., all paying their last respects to the people's Pope.
As day broke in Rome, the faithful began to arrive in St. Peter's Square to pay final tribute to Pope Francis. It was here, less than a week ago, he made his last public appearance.
He was a man of the people. He was well loved, and I think I love him too.
They were joined by 50 heads of state and delegations from 130 countries worldwide, attending the funeral mass at St. Peter's Square. A global show of respect for a man who had tried to reconnect the Catholic Church with the people. Also in attendance, the cardinals of the Church. Among them, likely the next pope, for now unknown until he is chosen by private ballot in the conclave. But today was about Francis, held with pomp and ceremony in the splendor of the Basilica. The service was simplified by Francis before his death and referenced his service and humility.
Papa Francesco ha scelto di percorrere.
A prayer calling for peace between nations, echoing Pope Francis's constant message throughout his papacy. As the Mass ended, worshipers here prayed for his eternal peace.
Episcopus, fratres in fide resurrectionis confirmavit.
His body was then slowly driven through the streets of Rome, as mourners lined the route to his burial place outside the Vatican, the first pope not to be buried there in over a century. Instead, he chose to be laid to rest in the Basilica of Santa Maria Maggiore, an area with a large migrant population, where he prayed on the first day of his papacy in 2013, and at key moments of global turmoil, alone during the coronavirus pandemic, and later leading prayers for peace in Ukraine in 2022. In keeping with his wishes, his coffin was made of unlined cypress wood, and he will be laid into the earth in a corner of the church he chose. His headstone reads simply, Franciscus.
The communion was one of the most profound moments of the funeral. They were passing out not just bread and wine, but also water. It got very hot down there. Police passed out water bottles, prioritizing women and children. It was very Francis, John.
Thank you, Chris.